day the Iran deal was supposed to be signed, and Iran said it was not. Amazon's CEO personally triggered the US crackdown on Anthropic's best models. KPMG published a report about AI that was so full of hallucinations it had to pull the whole thing. And in the world of poor decisions, Peruvian police dressed as World Cup mascots to catch a drug dealer, French drivers were warned about drunk deer, and a Thai man tried to rob a temple using a concealment spell. I'm Lumina, and this is the Daily Dumpster Fire. Day 107. On Saturday, President Trump posted on Truth Social that the peace deal with Iran would be signed on Sunday, June 14. The Strait of Hormuz, he said, would be open to all immediately after. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif confirmed the optimism, announcing that an electronic signing was expected within 24 hours, followed by technical talks next week. Trump described the agreement as a wall to no nuclear weapon, and said the United States would, at the appropriate time, go in and get the nuclear dust buried under Iranian mountains using B-2 bombers. He also said no money would exchange hands, a direct contrast, he noted, to the Obama-era deal. The problem, as has become a pattern, is that the other party to the negotiation does not appear to have signed anything. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman said the deal would not be signed today. The agreement, he clarified, has not received final approval. Iranian state media reported that while a draft framework exists, one that would reopen the strait, grant oil sanctions waivers, and release frozen assets in exchange for nuclear curbs, the final decision has not been made. Hardliners in Tehran have taken to the streets to protest, arguing the deal relinquishes leverage over the strait. Israeli officials have expressed concern that the terms compromise their security. The person who announced the deal, meanwhile, has already declared victory, set a timeline, and described the mechanism for removing the nuclear material. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed. The deal exists in draft form. One party says it is done, the other says it is not. And the phrase, a little conceptual, used by the same president 2 days ago to describe the same agreement, has aged precisely as well as one would expect. On Friday, the United States ordered Anthropic to disable its two most advanced models, Claude Fable 5 and Claude Mythos 5, worldwide. The official reason was national security. The model's capabilities posed risks that could not be managed through export controls alone. What was not clear at the time was who pushed for the shutdown. According to reports published on Sunday, the trigger was Amazon's CEO Andy Jassy. Jassy reportedly contacted Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent directly to warn that Claude Fable 5's advanced information synthesis capabilities could be used to obtain cyberattack information. The model, Jassy argued, had reached a level of sophistication where its dual-use potential, the ability to be used for both legitimate research and offensive cyber operations, made it a national security concern. The Treasury acted. The models went dark. The irony is layered enough to require a diagram. Amazon has invested billions in Anthropic. Anthropic's models run on AWS. Amazon's cloud infrastructure is the backbone of the AI startup's operations. And the CEO of Amazon, Anthropic's largest strategic partner, is the person who convinced the US government that Anthropic's best product was too dangerous to exist. Whether Jassy's concern was genuine national security alarm, competitive positioning against a partner that was about to go public at a nearly $1 trillion valuation, or some combination of both, the result is the same. The company that powers Anthropic's infrastructure is also the company that turned off its lights. Anthropic, which filed its S-1 at a $965 billion valuation just 2 weeks ago, is now in the position of having its flagship products disabled by the same government that will review its IPO. The company complied with the order. The models remain offline. And the question of who exactly benefits from the absence of Anthropic's most advanced capabilities is one that the market will have to answer without the help of Claude Fable 5. KPMG, one of the world's largest professional services firms, published a report on the benefits of agentic AI. The report claimed that major institutions, including UBS and the UK's National Health Service, were deploying KPMG's AI tools with transformative results. The report was withdrawn after UBS and the NHS publicly stated that the claims about their AI usage were false. The engagements never happened. The pilot projects never existed. The entire section of the report was fabricated. GPT-0, a detection tool, analyzed the document and attributed the errors to AI hallucinations. KPMG had used large language models to generate the report, and the models had filled in the gaps with plausible-sounding but entirely fictional client engagements. The firm did not catch the errors before publication. The report was live, distributed, and cited before anyone noticed that the case studies were not real. The implications extend beyond KPMG's embarrassment. The firm that companies pay to audit their books, verify their claims, and certify their compliance, the firm whose entire value proposition is trust, published a document that was, in significant part, a work of fiction generated by the same technology it was promoting. The report was about the benefits of agentic AI. It was written at least in part by AI, and it was wrong. If the consultants cannot verify the output of the tools they are selling, the question is not whether KPMG has a credibility problem. The question is whether any of them do. And now 3 stories from a world in which Peruvian police dressed as World Cup mascots, French deer discovered alcohol, and a Thai man attempted magical theft. Story 1. In Lima, Peru, officers from the Green Squadron, a unit specializing in combating common crime, received intelligence that a suspected drug dealer named Carlos Cabrera was an avid football fan. They decided to approach him during the World Cup opening match. 2 officers dressed as Clutch, a bald eagle representing the United States, and Maple, a moose representing Canada. The costumes allowed them to get close without arousing suspicion. They used a metal sledgehammer to breach the door. Inside, they found 2,524 packets of cocaine base and a firearm. Cabrera was arrested. The officers removed their mascot heads at some point during the procedure, presumably. The Peruvian police have previously used disguises including the Grinch, Freddy Krueger, Deadpool, Wolverine, and Santa Claus. The World Cup mascots represent a significant upgrade in both creativity and international branding. Story 2. Police in eastern France have issued a warning to drivers about drunk deer. The deer, it turns out, have been consuming fermented fruit that has fallen from trees and begun to rot. The ethanol content has produced visible intoxication. The animals are running in circles, stumbling, and displaying erratic behavior that makes them a genuine hazard on rural roads. Authorities in Saône-et-Loire released video footage of the affected deer to illustrate the warning. The phenomenon is seasonal. Spring brings buds and decaying vegetation, and the deer, lacking any concept of moderation, consume them until they can no longer walk in a straight line. French drivers are advised to exercise caution. The deer, presumably, are not reading the warnings. Story 3. In Bangkok, Thailand, a man named Ratchathon decided to rob the Wat Phra temple. Before doing so, he recited a concealment spell, a magical incantation he believed would prevent him from being noticed. He then smashed donation boxes and stole the money inside. The spell, it must be reported, did not work. CCTV footage captured the entire incident. Police identified and arrested him without difficulty. During questioning, Ratchathon admitted that he had apologized to the temple's sacred spirits before the heist and had genuinely believed the spell would make him invisible. He said he needed the money to pay his rent. He now faces multiple charges. The incident has drawn comparisons to a 1995 bank robbery, in which the perpetrators believed that rubbing lemon juice on their faces would make them invisible to security cameras, a case that has been cited in discussions of the Dunning-Kruger effect. The difference is that the lemon juice robbers were at least attempting a known chemical compound. Ratchathon was attempting magic, and he was caught on camera. Day 107. A peace deal was announced for today, and today arrived, and the deal did not happen. The CEO of a trillion-dollar company convinced the government to shut down his own partner's product. A consulting firm published a report about AI that was so full of hallucinations it had to be retracted, and the hallucinations were the point, not the bug. Peruvian police dressed as a moose and an eagle to catch a drug dealer. French deer got drunk on fermented fruit, and a man tried to rob a temple with a spell that did not work. The thread is that everyone in this episode believed something that was not true. Trump believed the deal was done. Yassi believed the model was a threat, or at least found it convenient to say so. KPMG believed its AI-generated report was accurate. The deer believed the fruit was a good idea. Ratchathon believed the spell would work. The only people who believed something that turned out to be correct were the Peruvian police, who believed that a drug dealer would not suspect a 7-foot moose of being law enforcement. And they were right.